In a city that never seems to sleep, two brothers, Daniel and Michael, grew up in the exact same small house. They were born to the same parents, raised under the same roof, and shaped by the very same childhood experiences. Yet, as adults, their lives could not have been more different. Daniel became a highly successful businessman. He was respected, trusted, a man whose name carried weight and integrity. Michael, on the other hand, lived on the fringes of the city. He struggled with alcoholism, was quick to anger, and brought fear into his home instead of peace. People in their community often whispered the same question: how could two brothers from the very same family end up living such drastically opposite lives? One evening, driven by curiosity, a few people decided to visit Michael's home. When the door creaked open, the stale smell of alcohol filled the air. Michael stood there, unsteady on his feet, his eyes clouded with a mixture of exhaustion and rage. His wife stood by in silence, and his children hid away in their room. One of the visitors spoke gently. "Michael, why are you like this? You fight for no reason. You hurt your own family. What made you this way?" Michael let out a dry, bitter laugh. "My father," he said, his voice raspy. The room fell silent. "Your father? How?" Michael lifted his bottle and took another long drink. "My father was an alcoholic," he explained. "He beat my mother. He beat both of us." He gestured around the broken-down room, as if it was a reflection of his own life. "What else did you expect me to become? I'm just like him." There was no anger in his voice, no regret, only a deep sense of resignation, as if his fate had been sealed long ago. That same night, the visitors traveled across the city to meet Daniel. The lights in Daniel's office were still on, the city glowing quietly outside his window. When Daniel came out to greet them, he offered a calm, warm smile. "I'm sorry to keep you waiting," he said. "How can I help you?" They asked him the very same question they had asked his brother. "You're respected, you're successful, people trust you. What made you become the man you are today?" Daniel paused for a moment, his gaze thoughtful. Then he said softly, "My father." The visitors stared at him, completely bewildered. "Your father? How is that even possible?" Daniel turned and looked out at the sprawling city lights. "My father was an alcoholic too," he said, his voice even. "When he drank, he hurt my mother, and he hurt us." He took a slow, deliberate breath. "I remember one night so clearly," Daniel continued. "I was just a child. Michael was crying. My mother was bleeding. My father was shouting. And I saw a bottle roll across the floor." Daniel's voice lower, becoming almost a whisper. "And in that moment, I made a decision. I told myself I would never, ever become that man. Not because I hated my father, but because I had seen firsthand what he destroyed. He turned back to face them, his eyes clear and steady. I couldn't control my childhood, he said, but I could control my choices. Every time life tested me, every time I faced a hardship, I remembered that little boy standing there in silence. And I promised him a different future. Daniel spoke of the long nights he spent studying alone, of consciously turning away from alcohol, of choosing discipline over the easy escape his father had always taken. Pain taught me many things, he concluded, but the one thing I refused to let it do was define me. The visitors left Daniel's office in contemplative silence. They had met two brothers, Daniel and Michael, who shared one past but made two vastly different choices. The same pain that had shaped them both led them down opposite paths. Michael used his past as an excuse to keep falling, to stay broken. Daniel used that same past as a powerful reason to rise, to become better. This story reveals a profound truth. Life does not decide who we become. Our past does not write our future. Pain can be a heavy chain that holds you down, or it can be a wise teacher that shows you the way forward. And perhaps this is the quiet truth we so often forget. You may not get to choose where you start in life, but you always get to choose who you become. A painful past might explain certain behaviors, but it never justifies them. Your choices, not your circumstances, are what truly define you. If you're struggling with your past or mental health, please know there is help and hope.